on NewsCenter 5 EyeOpener.
At this hour, a Massachusetts doctor is heading back to the United States for Ebola treatment, but this fight is missing a key weapon. The twist making this life-saving mission even harder.
Number 12 talking for the first time about injury concerns. Tom Brady's message to fans just days before the Pats start the regular season.
Remembering groundbreaking comedian Joan Rivers' life and the new investigation into her death. On the Eye.
You're watching WCVB, Boston's news leader. Good morning. This is NewsCenter 5 EyeOpener.
Also on the Eye this morning, a water main break making this huge crater there. It could be a very messy commute. The roads you are going to want to avoid just ahead. Good morning. I'm Emily Reamer.
And I'm Randy Price with City Fitzgibbon, and the humidity is returning today.
Yeah, you can almost feel it this morning. It's starting to get a little bit sticky out there. By this afternoon, you're going to go, oh yeah, it's humid. The dew point's going up today. Sun up in the next 13 minutes. You can see brightening there on the horizon. We've got mainly clear skies in Boston. The dew point this morning is around 60, so that's why I say it's starting to get a little bit sticky, but by tomorrow morning, it's going to be up around 70, so oppressive levels of humidity on the way the next 24 to 48 hours. You can see the temperatures this morning not as cool as yesterday morning when we had a lot of 50s showing up. Just a few 50s. Orange to Keene. Norwood is 58. 68 in Boston right now. Taunton 59. You can see it's close to 70. Hyannis. So a little bit of a warmer start for you this morning. And there is some fog on the Vineyard toward the canal and down along Buzzards Bay here on the south coast, reducing visibility. But that's about it. Otherwise, skies are clear this morning. High pressure going to give us another sunny day. But as this high nudges just a little farther to the east, southwesterly winds increase, and that's going to bring up more humidity over the course of the day. So by lunchtime, you're going to notice it is more humid. 85 degrees by lunch, and by 5 p.m. you're driving home. It's in the upper 80s. Lots of sunshine today, and look at these temperatures making a run toward 90. Lawrence, Middleton, Saugus, over to Burlington and Lowell as well. 89 for you out in Framingham, about 89 in Fitchburg as well. Worcester, 85 degrees, making a run close to 90. Braintree to Brockton to Bridgewater, and down along the south coast, the Cape, the islands, that wind off the water keeps the temperatures down a little bit, but you have to burn off that early morning fog before you get into bright sunshine. All right, bright sunshine means solar glare, an issue on the roadways here in the next half an hour or so, Alessa.
Yes, but for now, we're doing okay. Here's a live look outside the Pike, and this is at Austin Brighton eastbound, moving to the top of the screen. A few more cars on the road, but everybody's still getting by at the speed limit for the most part. Let's get to the maps now, and you can see for yourselves that so far, it's a fairly quiet start. We're hoping for Friday light 24. A little patch of delays through Randolph and also on Route 3 as you approach the Braintree split. Your trip northbound on the expressway, 20 to 25 minutes from Braintree to Boston. So far, as you just saw the Pike live there, no problems. And farther west of that camera shot out of Framingham, you're also doing okay. And then as you travel down 93, a patch of delays south of 128, approaching Spot Pond. Then so far, we're in pretty good shape down to the Leverett connector. Trains and buses on time. Emily, Randy.
All right, Alessa, thank you. And right now, a Boston area doctor is battling the deadly Ebola virus and is heading here to the United States. That move may be the only way to save his life.
But we're already learning just how difficult that may be. The EyeOpener's Erica Tarantel tracking overnight developments in a pretty risky operation, Erica.
Yeah, Emily, hopeful signs, though, at the start. The head of the special unit where Dr. Rick Saker will be treated says he was stable, able to walk onto the plane in Africa. The 51-year-old could be less than an hour now from arriving here at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha. The Worcester doctor, who lives in Holden, decided to go to Liberia to work in a maternity ward. This after learning about the 2 other American missionaries who were infected there. They were both treated in Atlanta and have since recovered. The more than 30 doctors who will be treating Dr. Saker in Omaha say their focus will be keeping him stable, and they're considering experimental treatments. Saker's wife discussed her husband's faith with the knowledge there is no more of the drug that was used to cure the other Americans.
He would want you to know that he would not be afraid to pass into eternal life.
Some 1,900 people have died from the virus in West Africa. Experts say Dr. Saker's move here poses no risk to the general public. And coming up, we'll take you inside the cutting-edge facility in Nebraska and hear from the doctors preparing to treat him right now. Randy?
4 minutes after 6, and right now, Sudbury Street is shut down as the town deals with a water main break there and making the repairs. This is video in overnight where you can see the sinkhole that break caused. It happened on Horse Pond Road, which is right off of Route 20. A resident reported flooding at around 12:40 this morning. Police tell NewsCenter 5 the road is expected to be shut down for most of the day. And right now, all of Patriots Nation is watching this man, and more importantly, watching to see what number 12 does at Gillette in just A few short hours this morning, we're hearing from Tom Brady amid some injury concerns just days before the team opens their season. The Eye-Opener's Antoinette Antonio in Foxborough this morning with his message to fans.
Randy, good morning. Tom Brady is talking, but what fans really want to see is Brady back out on the practice field later this morning. And this is what Patriots fans are hoping for on Sunday. Tom Brady leading the team for the big opener in Miami. The QB was a no-show at practice on Thursday. Then he popped up on the practice report as injured, so you can imagine the nerves among the Patriots faithful. Brady trying to put those nerves at ease, talking to Westwood One last night.
Physically, I had the day off, but I got a lot of extra film in. I got a lot of mental reps in and walkthroughs and such, and I'll be ready to go Sunday.
No problem. You'll be out there?
I sure hope so. I mean, anything can happen for anybody between now and then, but I'm looking forward to playing Sunday.
The Patriots listed the injury as a calf injury. It's not believed to be serious. He's just sitting out as a precaution. Fans hoping to see him back on the field for today's 11:15 practice. And we are also expecting to hear from Coach Belichick, but of course, as we all know, he is known for keeping things close to his vest. NewsCenter 5 will be here and we'll be staying on top of the situation and let you know about all the developments. We're live in Foxborough this morning. Antoinette Antonio, WCVB NewsCenter 5.
Antoinette, thanks. Governor Patrick is preparing to head out of town on another trade mission. The governor will lead a delegation to Europe for 5 days later this month. That trip to Denmark, the United Kingdom, France is expected to cost about $150,000. That's according to the Herald. This is the governor's third trade mission since March and the fifth in the last year. Also new this Friday, Martha Coakley appears to have a strong lead going into next week's primary election. A new Globe poll gives her 43% support, nearly double her closest Democratic rival, Steve Grossman. 14% of people in this poll say they're still undecided. In the Attorney General's race, a big change here. The Globe survey shows Maura Healey surging past rival Warren Tolman with a 15-point lead. Last week, this same poll had them virtually tied. Now, today, Scott Brown will kick off a series of rallies as he tries to wrap up the Republican primary for Senate in New Hampshire. He's also expected to get another boost from Mitt Romney in the form of a new campaign ad. Last night at a debate at our sister station, WMUR, all the Republicans seeking that seat were asked if Americans who fight for ISIS should have their passports revoked.
Those individuals should be arrested and they should be tried for treason and put to death.
They gave up their passports when they picked up the arms against the United States of America and against our troops. They've already killed 2 people that have close and strong ties to New Hampshire. They left their citizenship at the door.
The winner of next week's primary will face incumbent Democrat Jeanne Shaheen in November.
Right now, the United States and the United Kingdom are working together to form a coalition to battle the terror group ISIS. At a NATO summit yesterday, President Obama and British Prime Minister David Cameron urged allies to confront the extremist group with diplomatic and economic pressure. Later this month, Secretary of State John Kerry is expected to testify at a hearing on the president's strategy to battle the terrorists, and critics have said that strategy doesn't have enough specifics. Jury selection set to begin today in what police are calling a brutal thrill killing in the city of Boston. 3 young men accused of luring a Domino's pizza delivery man into an apartment in Hyde Park, then killing him in 2010. Police say that Richelle Nova, a 58-year-old father of 3, was stabbed 16 times and robbed. There are indications that one of the suspects involved may plead guilty to the charges.
As the world mourns the legendary Joan Rivers, an investigation is already underway into her death. Rivers died yesterday, less than a week after going into cardiac arrest at a Manhattan doctor's office during a minor procedure. The New York State Health Department is now investigating the clinic and her death. Rivers was 81 years old. Ahead in our next half hour, how local comedians are paying tribute and the words Rivers herself wrote that may make for an interesting farewell to a very unique performer. You can find a look at her career through the years right now on WCVB.com.
2 women knocked out of their kayaks by a great white shark, still managing to call 911 from the water.
It's pretty chilling. These recordings of their plea for help, it's just ahead. Also, Google, they might owe you money. The company's giving out cash for moves made when parents' backs were turned.
Outsmart the hackers. 3 ways to make your web searches less vulnerable. Erica?
Randy, right now, a Massachusetts doctor infected with the Ebola virus is headed back to the United States. Dr. Rick Sacra is being flown from Liberia to Nebraska for treatment. We'll take you inside that hospital ahead in our next half hour. Cindy? And Erica, the heat and the humidity, well, they are back today. Thunderstorms and a big cool down, though, on the way for the weekend. The timeline ahead. First, here's what you can expect when you head out the door. On Cape Cod this morning, it's a mild start. Patchy fog closer to the canal this morning. Otherwise, we've got another muggy morning on the way Saturday. A cloudy start on your Sunday.
We are the nurses of Brockton Hospital Institute of Healthcare in Brockton, Massachusetts. We are from maternity. We make new birthdays here every day. Every day is a special day. So we want to say happy birthday to all our new babies and good morning, EyeOpener!
Happy New Year.
Oh my gosh, always a little craziness from nurses.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning to the nurses at Brockton Hospital.
They know a little something about getting up early, right? Or staying up all night if you're on that
Carrying
overnight
on
shift.
like crazy, yeah.
We'd love to see your wake-up call. Get your friends together, record it, go to the front page, wcvb.com, upload it to the YouLocal section.
The craziness comes from lack of sleep, we know.
Yeah,
so.
oh my gosh,
Stay awake call.
Yeah.
Wake up call, right? There you go.
The humidity's going to wake you up today.
There you go. Yeah, today's
Lovely.
all about the humidity. Yesterday was very comfortable. It was hot.
Yeah,
We got into the
but
80s
nice.
again yesterday. Yep.
It was breezy.
Yes, it's going to be breezy, but the breeze is just pulling in the humidity. So we've got a nice looking start. Skies are mainly clear in Boston now. We've been running so warm this month, 80s to 90 every day this month, and you have to go back to last Saturday to find a day that we were in the 70s. So it's been warm. The jet stream's been running to our north. Things are changing. By early next week, cooler air is going to be working on in, and I think we're going to keep temperatures in the 70s starting on Sunday through next week. Now, what's going to bring about that change is a potent cold front. And notice this yellow shading over New England. Storm Prediction Center is highlighting us tomorrow for the potential of some severe thunderstorms. The timing on these between about 3 o'clock in the afternoon and 10 p.m. So late afternoon, evening thunderstorms, heavy downpours, torrential rain could lead to some flash flooding. That's the primary threat. But in some of the strongest storms, there could also be some damaging wind gusts. So you want to keep an eye to the sky later tomorrow. Quiet start this morning, but not as many 50s out there. It's not as cool as it was yesterday morning. 64 Worcester, 68 Boston. We're still running around 70 in Hyannis. A little bit of fog right now in the Cape closer to the canal, Martha's Vineyard, and around Buzzards Bay. Around the New Bedford area, visibility has been running about a quarter to a half a mile throughout the past few hours. So that'll be burning off. Otherwise, skies are mainly clear. You have to go back to the Great Lakes into Iowa to find the thunderstorm activity, and that is where our frontal boundary is. This is what's going to approach us tomorrow and trigger those storms. Out ahead of it today, we've got lots of sunshine, but a southwesterly wind is just feeding up more humidity. Look at these dew points around D.C., around 70. That is oppressive, and that's going to work on toward us. Dew point right now in Boston is 62. By tomorrow morning, it's going to be up around 70. So it's turning more humid as the day wears on. Temperatures well up into the 80s, making a run toward 90. Lawrence, even Boston in the upper 80s. Southwesterly winds, though, keeping us closer to 80 degrees on Cape Cod today. So it's warm tonight at Fenway if you're headed to the game. 82 for the first pitch, a little bit breezy, muggy, 75 by game's end, and overnight low temperatures either side of 70 degrees. Tomorrow is another hot day with temperatures well in the 80s to near 90 degrees. That southwesterly wind, though, is going to keep us running closer to 80 degrees on Cape Cod. So timing out those storms tomorrow, they are late day and evening. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the storms are just approaching from the west. I think they're going to be coming into the Boston area between about 5 and 8 p.m. And then they should weaken some as they move toward the Cape during the evening hours. And it looks like Sunday is a dry day. Any lingering clouds, especially on the Cape in the morning hours, clear on out. Brightening skies, comfortable air, certainly cooler in the 70s. And that is where we stay all of next week. And it looks dry starting next week, but could get a little bit showery toward the middle of the week.
I think the humidity's going to Randy's head. He was dancing before, now he's doing yoga over there. So you guys are missing all the excitement behind the camera.
That, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll get it on my phone next time so you can see it. Yeah. So far, pretty quiet start to the morning. A live look outside, 93 through Somerville, southbound side. Starting to fill in with just a little bit of that volume, but that's normal for this time of the morning. Still an accident-free ride, so enjoy it while it lasts. We're hoping for a Friday light this morning. Let's get to the maps. Here's what's happening south of town. So far, no complaints. 24 filling in out of Avon, Route 3 into the Braintree split. And you're right on the expressway, 20 to 25 right now from Braintree to Boston. As you travel west of town, no major concerns on the Pike or on Route 9. And so far, so good on your ride down from New Hampshire, although those delays on 93, they're starting back in Methuen beyond 495 and stretching down to right around Spot Pond and then picking up some more volume approaching the Leverett connector. Trains and buses still operating on time. I'm Melissa Stepanova. That's a look at your traffic.
There's something in the water.
Okay.
There's a great white.
Panic and terror. This morning, we're getting a chilling glimpse of the shark encounter that has two kayakers shaken. Erica's back with more of that frantic call to 911.
Yep, Randy, of course, we heard from the women yesterday, but to hear that call is really something. We heard from them just hours after a great white took a bite out of their boat. Ida Parker, Kristen Orr were about 150 yards offshore taking pictures of seals when that great white attacked. Their kayaks tipped over, leaving them stranded in the water, surrounded by seals. That shark swimming nearby. They used cell phones to call 911.
Fire ambulance. I was just on the phone with somebody. We're stuck in the water and there's a shark.
30 minutes later, the harbor master was able to fish the women out of the water. They were shaken, as you can clearly hear, but they were not hurt. The bite mark on that kayak, 18 inches in diameter.
Pretty good size.
That could, yeah.
Little lesson learned about taking pictures of seals. You know,
I know, don't get too close. They may look cute, but, you know.
All right, Erica, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Topping your economic headlines this Friday morning, BP is facing a hefty $18 billion fine centered around the 2010 Gulf oil spill. A federal judge in New Orleans has ruled the company acted in, quote, gross negligence during that disaster. 11 oil rig workers were killed. Millions of gallons of oil spilled into the Gulf of Mexico for weeks. BP has already spent $27 billion on cleanup efforts and compensation to the people and businesses impacted by that spill. A ruling on how much BP will pay is scheduled for January. Google reaches an agreement with parents whose kids were able to make purchases on its mobile app store without permission. The company plans to shell out $19 million. Google has agreed to change its billing practices, making sure it has a customer's permission before charging them for items sold in their mobile apps. Wall Street will be watching for the August jobs report. It's due out later this morning. The Dow lost about 8 points yesterday. The NASDAQ down 10 points. The S&P down about 3. Another setback for the nation's healthcare website. This time it's a security breach. The White House says hackers were unable to get any information from the website that holds the personal information of more than 5 million Americans. The component of the site that was breached was used for testing. The cyber attack happened in July but went undetected until last Monday.
Chances are that recent data breaches have you concerned at least a little bit about your personal information getting into the wrong hands at some point. There are some things that you can do right now to outsmart those wanting your personal data. At first, they may seem annoying, but make sure you update your software when you get one of those alerts on your browser, your smartphone, apps, operating system. Neglecting those updates leaves your device vulnerable. And while convenient, be leery when you use public Wi-Fi. Everyone sharing that internet connection with you could get access to your device. If you must use public Wi-Fi, browse the internet with an incognito or private window. Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Safari, they all offer that option for you.
6:20 this morning, a massive catch off the coast of Florida. It's bigger than 3 people combined.
And the staggering weight of a swordfish and how long it took to reel that in.
Then new at 6:30, Whitey Bulger no longer behind bars in Arizona. The mobster's whereabouts this morning. And police are on the lookout for the suspect in a frightening attack at Northeastern University. The photo they want you to see just ahead. Hey, happy Friday to you. Check out this gorgeous shot here. 6:24, the sun up over the horizon now. These are live pictures there. Seeing the Tobin in the background. Sunshine going to be with us all day long. It's going to be a beautiful Friday weather-wise. Just feeling more like August again than September. Temperature right now 68 degrees. Notice we spend most of the afternoon up in the mid-80s. We should top out close to 90 degrees today. And the humidity is coming up. 90 Lawrence, 89 in Fitchburg, near 90 Waltham to Billerica today. And on the Cape, that southwest southwesterly wind has brought in some fog this morning. That'll burn off. Your high today around 80 degrees. Saturday is another hot, humid day with some late day storms. We should cool it down on Sunday. Emily?
Okay, Cindy, thanks. A state of emergency right now on Hawaii's Big Island, centered around this volcano here. Lava from the Kilauea volcano is threatening several homes. More than 8,000 people live in the area in the lava's direct path.
It is now 6:25, and we've got eye poppers for you, an eye-popping piece of video.
Yes, we do. An incredible catch off the coast of Florida is what we're talking about. A teenager caught this 693-pound swordfish over Labor Day weekend. Took him 4 hours to reel in the 14-foot fish. That teen says for a second, he thought that big fish might have been a shark. Is it not a shark?
Yeah. He wanted an adventure, and boy, did he get one.
Oh, he got an adventure.
And he probably could sell that thing for pretty good money.
He could. 4 hours, I would have given up.
Yeah.
Done something else. That's a long time.
Quite the challenge. All right,
Tossed it back in the ocean.
Exactly.
Thanks, guys. Apple's making moves to ramp up security after celebrities got their data stolen. The change is coming to the iCloud. And a pharmacist tied to the company blamed for a deadly meningitis outbreak arrested at the airport. But his lawyer says he had a good reason for trying to leave the country. On WCVB.com this morning, 10 unexpected uses for lemons, from getting rid of ants to curing a toothache. You'll find the full list on our homepage, on our mobile news apps. And at 6:26, we take a live look outside of the city of Boston. Their sun is now up. A pretty nice sunrise shot there. 65 degrees. We'll be right back.
Next Chronicle, Fall Fun. The music world takes over Boston.
Something for everybody in this lineup.
Illegal knitting.
You can go to jail for it.
Hi, officer. How you doing?
And familiar faces with new homes on WCVB Channel 5. Chronicle tonight. Get it all this fall. Mornings on Channel 5.
I'm here to see you, my love.
Oh. Kelly and Michael, Steve Harvey, and The View. Then Emily, Erica, and Cindy on NewsCenter 5 at noon.
It's the story everyone's been talking about.
Get it all this fall on WCVB Channel 5. Now on NewsCenter 5 EyeOpener.
It senses that there's a leak.
Final preparations underway this morning to save a local doctor in a desperate situation, but this Ebola case will be different.
There is none of this left to use.
We take you inside the complicated fight to keep Rick Sacra alive.
A woman attacked right near a college dorm. Now police hope these pictures can help them stop their suspect.
Can we talk? A comedy legend remembered, but Joan Rivers may really get the final say.
I want Meryl Streep crying in 5 different accents.
Preparing for a very unique goodbye on the Eye.
You're watching WCVB, Boston's news leader. Good morning. This is NewsCenter 5 EyeOpener.
6:30, and what a sight. How many times do you get to say, what a beautiful morning on the Mystic River?
That's right.
It is this morning. There's the bridge, and there's the river, and there's the sunrise as we kick off this weekend. Good morning to you. I'm Randy Price.
I'm Emily Reamer, along with Cindy and Alessa. It does look gorgeous out there, but it is humid. That's the thing.
It's getting more humid, too. Each hour today, the humidity is just going to keep going up. So, get a little sticky, feeling like summertime, but it makes for a beautiful sunrise this morning. We saw that one shot there. Got another one to share with you. Our friend Kevin Brennan sent this one on Twitter, and just wanted to share with you there. The sun coming up over the harbor. Just beautiful this morning. And in a lot of communities, we are seeing a beautiful sunrise, but it's a little foggy right now, closer to the canal and the Cape. Also the Vineyard, Buzzards Bay. That fog there on the south coast should be burning off here pretty quickly. Sunny, warm at the bus stop this morning in the 70s, so it's a short stay for the kiddos, I think. Humid this afternoon. They're getting off the bus. It is near 90 degrees this afternoon. So yes, it's going to be a hot one. Not nearly as cool as you're stepping out this morning. 64 right now. Worcester, 68 Boston, 70 in Hyannis. Above any fog, the skies are clear. You have to head way off to the north and west to find any cloud cover and showers. But this front off to the west will be a trigger for some thunderstorms for us late Saturday afternoon, and out ahead of it, yeah, the humidity is going up today. So it's mild this morning, but very sticky by noontime. 85 degrees, 88 for your ride home at 5 o'clock this afternoon. And look at these high temperatures today. A lot of spots with the southwesterly wind here. Saugus, Middle Middleton, Lawrence, Burlington, Lowell, all making a run toward 90 degrees. 89 in Framingham. We're going to be about the same in Fitchburg. Mid-80s out in the Worcester area. Near 90, Braintree to Brockton. You head down to the south coast and the Cape, that southwesterly wind. Well, it's brought in some fog this morning, and it's going to keep your temperatures closer to 80 degrees this afternoon. All right, let's get you out to the roadways. Beautiful sunrise shots. Hopefully you have your sunglasses in the car this morning.
Yes, you're going to need them, and also a little bit of patience for the delays that are starting to fill in across the area. There's the Lever connector. You could see these cars making their way into Boston, starting to snarl up with that traffic, and also on the Zachem Bridge right here behind me. So far, no major concerns. Let's get over to the maps. It's still an accident-free morning for you right now as you head out south of town. So far, 24. That's picking up those delays out of Avon, Route 3 into the Braintree Split, and you're right on the expressway, Braintree to Boston. It's about 25 minutes. So far, the Pike and Route 9 are in pretty good shape, and then your trip down 93 Concord Street to Montvale Ave, almost a 20-minute ride. Then not too bad from there until you approach the Lever connector, where you've got some more delays. Trains and buses on time. Emily, Randy.
All right, Alyssa, thanks. Now to the big stories that we are tracking right now on the Eye.
And Erica's here bringing us information as it comes in.
Randy, Emily, we begin with a big sinkhole in Sudbury. Take a look at the video in overnight from Horse Pond Road. This mess caused by a big water main break last night. The area is expected to be shut down for most of the day.
I'll be ready to go Sunday.
Tom Brady trying to ease fears of Patriots fans after he was a no-show at practice yesterday. Brady's believed to have a calf injury. The Pats start their season in Miami Sunday. And today, President Obama is wrapping up meetings with NATO allies in Wales. Thursday, he urged the group to form a coalition to battle the terror group ISIS. The president heads back to the U.S. later this afternoon. Randy?
And we're tracking breaking developments right now. A Massachusetts doctor battling Ebola set to arrive at a U.S. hospital at any time.
The EyeOpener's Frank Holland is in Worcester with an inside look at the critical care Dr. Sakra will receive. Frank?
Yeah, Dr. Sakra will be placed inside of a special biocontainment unit as soon as that plane lands. It's all part of an effort to keep this virus under control and help the Worcester doctor battle this potentially deadly disease. The Worcester doctor who contracted Ebola in Liberia will get life-saving treatment inside this special hospital unit in Omaha, Nebraska.
You can start an IV.
Doctors will provide care while a 51-year-old is inside this biocontainment unit. He will be placed inside the portable isolation pod as soon as he gets off the plane. Doctors will wear containment suits. An alarm will sound if there is any risk of exposure to the potentially deadly virus.
It senses that there's a leak.
2 other American doctors who were infected with Ebola in Liberia received similar treatment, but Sakra will not receive the same medicine.
This product is no longer available. There is none of this left to use.
Sakra traveled to Liberia to care for Ebola patients with the nonprofit SIM about a month ago. Now doctors say the dedicated doctor is fighting for his own life.
The tough nature of this disease is just the fact that there isn't any notable therapy other than good supportive care.
Yeah, Dr. Sakra's doctors are also considering using an experimental treatment that would involve injecting him with a blood serum from a patient that has already recovered from Ebola. University of Nebraska Hospital is the largest of its kind in the country. Here in Worcester, Frank Holland, WCVB NewsCenter 5.
Frank, thanks. Students in Boston's Mission Hill neighborhood on alert after a young woman is assaulted in the middle of the night. And right now, police want to know if you recognize the attacker. This is the man here police say grabbed the Northeastern student by the neck and dragged her down an alley. It happened in the early morning hours Thursday on Huntington Avenue next to the Massachusetts College of Art dorm. Police say her screams were enough to alert security officers, and that suspect took off after spotting them. 2 Northeastern students were recently robbed in that same area, but police say that incident is unrelated to this latest attack.
This morning, a pharmacist allegedly tied to the deadly meningitis outbreak involving a New England compounding center is under house arrest. Glenn Chen was arrested at Logan Airport after trying to get on a flight to Hong Kong with his family. The government says he's a flight risk. Chen's attorney says his client was heading to a wedding and did not plan to permanently flee the country. Investigators say Chen hid unsafe practices at the compounding center. Actors and comedians are mourning Joan Rivers' death this morning, but the star didn't want her passing to be all that somber.
The tongue-in-cheek description of an over-the-top send-off that she hoped for. It's ahead. Also, Governor Deval Patrick talking about 2016, his careful comments on a possible presidential run.
And ahead in News to Go, protecting the iCloud, Apple's plans to keep users' data safe.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Eye Opener Live. Look at Route 1 in Saugus, southbound side moving to the top of the screen. Not looking too bad here just yet. We're hoping for Friday light this morning. Just volume. That's what we're looking at so far in other parts of the area. No accidents, incidents, or road closures to report. Cindy, my hair can already tell it's not a good hair day.
I know it. We're turning up the volume on the dew point scale as well. Humidity going way up today as temperatures make a run close to 90 degrees. Humid tomorrow, hot once again, but late day evening thunderstorms could pack a punch. They will cool us down starting on Sunday. High temperatures in the 70s through most of next week. Emily?
Cindy, thanks. Joan Rivers being remembered around the country and here in Boston as a trailblazer for women in comedy. Her lengthy career included stand-up, guest hosting The Tonight Show for Johnny Carson, and sitting behind the desk of her own late-night talk show. She was the first woman to do that. Rivers won an Emmy for her daytime talk show, and she's known for always laughing on the stage and in life, including after her husband Edgar committed suicide in the 80s. That's something fellow comedians say she should be admired for.
She came back, after that, which was she found refuge in the work. So that was kind of inspiring. What does she expect? What do you expect? Can we talk?
New York's health department is investigating the clinic where Rivers went into cardiac arrest last week. A funeral is planned for Sunday in New York. And it wasn't long ago that Rivers talked about how she'd like to be remembered with typical wit and humor.
I want my funeral to be a huge showbiz affair with lights and cameras and action.
That's an excerpt from her 2012 book, I Hate Everyone, Starting With Me. She goes on to write, I want craft services, I want paparazzi, I want publicists making a scene. I want it to be Hollywood all the way. I don't want some rabbi rambling on. I want Meryl Streep crying in 5 different accents.
A Massachusetts doctor headed to Nebraska for Ebola treatment, the complication awaiting him. And Tom Brady talking about injury concerns, his message ahead of Sunday's game.
.44 this morning, the Eye Opener team is ready to go with your big stories.
Including Tom Brady talking to Pats fans about his condition for the season opener.
But first, we get to Cindy and the forecast, especially as we head into this weekend.
Yes,
it's hot.
It is. It's going to start hot, and then by Sunday, you're going to go,
much nicer.
Feels a whole lot better.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've got a little bit of something for everyone. If you like it hot and humid, you got 2 more days of it, and then the temperatures are cooling down. By the way, we should be about 76 this time of year, so for the past several days, we've been running way above the average. Now, what's going to break this heat is a cold front, and that front could produce strong to possibly severe thunderstorms. The threat on Saturday is after about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right up through the evening hours. The primary threat with all this humid air in place is for torrential downpours that could lead to some flash flooding. So heavy rain, strong winds, a possibility, a moderate risk for that, and even a low risk for some hail with some of these storms as well. The front's here right now off to the west, out ahead of it. All sorts of humidity is going to be feeding in today. The dew point now is 62, 70 down near D.C., and that's where our dew point temperatures will be by tomorrow morning. So it turns more humid as the day wears on. 68 right now in Boston. By 9 a.m., mid-70s. By noontime, it's near 85 degrees, and we'll make a run close to 90 in many communities this afternoon. Southwesterly winds keep us a little closer to 80 degrees on Cape Cod. Tomorrow may start out a little bit murky, especially south of Boston, and then we'll get some hazy sunshine. Futurecast at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon showing the storms firing up to our west, and then they move on in, likely between 5 and 8 p.m. closer to the Boston area. They'll end on the Cape overnight, waking up to some clouds on Sunday morning on Cape Cod especially, but clearing skies in the afternoon. 88 on Saturday with those late day storms, and then only about 74 on Sunday. Let's get you out to the roadways this morning. I want to show you this picture, Alessa. John sent this to me on Twitter. It's from Revere Beach this morning. That's what the sun looks like as you're driving eastbound this morning. Right in your eyes. Solar glare, right?
Absolutely. You're going to need those sunglasses on the Pike eastbound. That's where we've got some delays building because of that sun glare. So far, we're in pretty good shape here on Route 1 in Saugus, southbound moving to the top of the screen. Let's get to the maps because delays are building all across the area. Starting things off right here in Chelmsford, southbound side of Route 3. Right near Drumhill Road, a disabled car blocking 1 lane. Then staying pretty slow, and you've also got those delays on 93 South. Concord Street to Montvale Ave, 20 to 25 minutes, then more volume as you approach the Leverett connector. The Pike eastbound out of Framingham, you just saw that sun glare, and that's what you're going to be dealing with this morning. And then as you travel north on 24, volume out of Avon, and your trip on the expressway, 25 minutes, Braintree to Boston. Also got some red line delays now southbound, minor delays because of a disabled train. Ashmont and Braintree branches are affected. Everything else is on schedule. Emily, Randy?
All right, Alyssa, thanks. We're tracking breaking news. The local doctor battling Ebola due to arrive in the U.S. at any time.
And the Eye's Erica Tarantel following developments as they happen.
Randy, Emily, that doctor, 51-year-old Rick Sacra, is from Holden and worked in Worcester. He's being flown back to the States right now. I want to show you some live pictures from the University of Nebraska Medical Center. All quiet now, but they are anticipating his arrival. He will be treated there in Omaha, where, as you mentioned, he's expected to arrive anytime now. A hopeful sign. Doctors say he was able to walk onto the plane in Africa. Dr. Sacra decided to go work in a maternity ward in Liberia after 2 other American missionaries were sickened by Ebola there. They fully recovered after being treated in Atlanta. Unfortunately, there is no more of the drug used for them to give to Dr. Sacra. For more on the special unit preparing for him and the kind of care Dr. Sacra will be getting, we go to my colleague Frank Holland. Frank?
Yeah, Dr. Sacra will be greeted by a medical team as soon as that plane lands. The 51-year-old will then be placed inside of a special biocontainment unit. Here's a look at the facility at the University of Nebraska where he'll be spending his time. A team of 35 doctors and nurses will be working around the clock in protective suits and provide basic care, also keeping his vital signs stable and keeping him hydrated. There's also an alarm to alert the medical staff if any of the virus leaks out into the air. Because that medicine that was used to save the other 2 American doctors is not available, doctors here are considering using an experimental treatment that would involve injecting Dr. Sacra with blood serum from a patient who recovered from Ebola. Now, Dr. Sacra was receiving treatment in Liberia. However, this facility at the University of Nebraska has a wider range of treatment options and is also the largest of its kind in the entire U.S. Here in Worcester, Frank Holland, WCVB NewsCenter 5.
Frank, thanks. And right now, NewsCenter 5's Jim Lokay is on his way to Nebraska. You can look for his live reports tonight, starting at 5 p.m.
Patriots quarterback Tom Brady trying to put fans' nerves at ease about that calf injury he's nursing right now.
Physically, I had the day off, but I got a lot of extra film in. I got a lot of mental reps in and walkthroughs and such, and I'll be ready to go Sunday.
And that was Brady talking to Westwood One Radio last night after sitting out of yesterday's practice. The calf injury is not believed to be serious. He's sitting out just as a precaution. The Pats open up their season in Miami this Sunday. Today's practice before they leave is set for 11:15 this morning. We'll see if he takes part in it. We're live in Foxborough this morning. Antoinette Antonio, WCVB NewsCenter 5.
A community is on alert after 2 men ambush an employee in Boston's South End. This is the surveillance from the store on Washington Street. The men force the employee to open the cash register. Then they take the cash. They speed off on bikes. Boston police believe that they're the same pair behind 4 other robberies in that neighborhood. These are surveillance pictures from 2 of them, which police say are similar to the video we just showed you.
A young woman who's fighting for her life after she was hit by a car while riding her bicycle. This happened late yesterday afternoon in Centerville. Police say the 17-year-old was on her bike at the intersection of routes 149 and 28 when she was hit. She was flown to Beth Israel with serious injuries. Whitey Bulger waking up in a new prison cell this morning. He was transferred from Tucson, Arizona to a high-security federal prison in Sumterville, Florida. Still unclear why Bulger was moved, but he does face a 1982 murder charge for the death of a businessman there. He was convicted last year for his role in 11 mob murders.
Maybe, but not right away. I am under no illusions that that's a huge decision, not just
Governor Deval Patrick isn't throwing out a possible bid for the presidency. He opened the door just a little bit more on WCVB's On the Record. Patrick has said that he looks forward to returning to private life when he leaves office in January. Hear what else he has to say on the record Sunday morning, 11 a.m.
Apple is ramping up its iCloud security measures, and that news comes after a major data breach where nude photos of several celebrities were released online. Apple CEO Tim Cook continues to deny servers are to blame, but he says users will now get notifications via email whenever someone tries to make changes to an Apple account.
Sports go. David Ortiz and the Sox wrapping up a 3-game series against the Yankees. Big Papi starting things off right in the first with this homer in the stands off of right field. Ortiz would go on to hit another home run. Top of the third, giving the Sox a 3-0 lead. Things start to fall apart, though, in the bottom of the third. Derek Jeter driving this one deep to center. Scoring 2, it's tied up in the bottom of the ninth. And Chase Headley takes one deep to right for the walk-off solo. And the Yankees win 5-4. An unbelievable discovery has turned up possibly the largest creature to ever walk the earth. Researchers in Argentina discovered the remains of an enormous dinosaur. They say it would have weighed 65 tons, 85 feet long. They named the creature Dreadnoughtus, or Fear Nothing. The latest finding believed to be 75 to 77 million years old.
Dancing with the Stars revealing the new celebrity cast for season 19. Among them, Back to the Future actress Leah Thompson, Tommy Chong of Cheech and Chong fame, and actor Alfonso Ribeiro from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now, right after the cast was announced, Cameron Matheson hit the road for a special Mirror Ball Trophy tour, and the first stop is right here in Boston. Monday morning, our own Cindy Fitzgibbon will be live at Faneuil Hall Marketplace, along with Cameron, the trophy, some other very special guests. And if you go to WCVB.com right now, you can find out how showing up Monday could earn you a trip to see all of the stars in person in LA, which should be a ton of fun. Do you think Cindy will be in LA? She is a star.
Yeah, I can
She's laughing.
I can
see
you.
Wait, I hear there's a little bit of dancing that might be going on.
There may be some dancing. Yes.
Well, we'll all be there after the eye-opener, so it'll be fun to see
so
a lot of you there.
You know you want to see my dance moves. This is what
hers and Randy's. He's got moves you guys have
I've got
never
moves.
seen.
It's not dancing, though.
No one's ever seen these moves.
Nobody wants to see any of us dance, I don't think. Here's a live look outside. Sun glare, that is what you're dealing with this morning. A live look outside at the Pike. That's eastbound moving to the top of the screen. Definitely going to cause some delays with that sun glare. You want to bring those sunglasses along this morning. Well, let's get to the maps. Those delays are building across the area if you're traveling north of town. Right by Drum Hill Road, southbound on Route 3, there's a disabled car that's blocking one lane. Slow ride on 93 South Concord Street to Monvale Ave. It's about 20 to 25 minutes. Then more delays approaching the Leverett connector. Pike now heavy out of Framingham. You just saw what that ride looks like because of that sun glare. And then as you travel northbound, the expressway ride about 25 to 30 minutes. Braintree to Boston. And also some delays now on the southbound red line because of a disabled train. That's affecting the Ashmont and Braintree branches. Everything else is operating on schedule. Cindy, can we get a little taste of those dance moves?
Let me think. Let's see. No,
you
cannot.
Come on.
I'm good. All right, this is the move that's happening today. Sticky now, and the humidity is going up as we go through Saturday morning. Dew point temperatures coming up to around 70 degrees, so getting stickier out there throughout the day. A little bit of a southerly flow off the ocean has generated some fog here down along Martha's Vineyard, the canal, and down along the south coast as well. That'll be burning off. Otherwise, it's a sunny start this morning. 64 Worcester, 68 right now in Boston. You can see how clear the skies are. Clouds well to our north and west. Mostly sunny, yes, turning more humid today. Southwesterly winds keeping us closer to 80 degrees in the Cape, but otherwise mid to upper 80s, 88 Boston, 90 Lawrence. Many of us flirting with that 90-degree mark today. This is what we are watching right here. This frontal boundary is going to be approaching us during the day on Saturday, so it's increasingly humid out ahead of that frontal boundary. And during the day on Saturday, strong to possibly severe storms could break out. The morning hours are fine, a little murky, then it brightens up. After 3 p.m., those storms start to move eastward, and they could be strong to severe. Torrential downpours moving through, the possibility of some gusty winds and even some small hail. So we'll watch that threat of those storms behind it. Cooler air Sunday into early next week. It's back into the 70s.
That sounds good.
Practicing your moves.
She's getting ready.
Monday, Faneuil Hall, the dancing. Have a great weekend.
Honored as the nation's best newscast and for overall excellence. It's why more people watch WCVB NewsCenter 5, Boston's news leader.